Hi, this is Stephanie Pruitt. It is day 8 of 30 by 30 by 30. I'm writing 30 poems in 30 days, inspired by works in the 30 Americans exhibit at the Frist Center. And today I wrote a draft in relation to Rashid Johnson's I Who Have Nothing. Rashid Johnson was born in Chicago, Illinois in 1977. He currently works in New York. And I Who Have Nothing was created in 2008. It is a mixed media piece composed of wax, soap, shea butter, and mixed media on fiberboard. It looks something like a bookcase, but also kind of like an altar. And it's all kind of dripping with black wax. There are 2 albums on the bookcases, on the top shelves, an Al Green album and a Bob Guillaume album, a couple of vases, rocks, some wax. So there's a lot going on. It's called I Who Have Nothing. It's very sparsely kind of filled in. There are, three or four shelves, and there's a lot of open space on each shelf. So it made me think about, possibly decorating, and this is what you have. This is what you have to put in your house. But there was something about it that really did make me think about a place of kind of contemplation, kind of as an altar. So the draft I have is, for right now, the working title is Alter, Alter, and Altar. Let me read the draft and then I'll talk to you a little bit about today's writing process. I who have nothing makes a home of anything. The things I hold, find, treasure, if only in my mind. A shelf made beautiful, if only for my eyes, filled with the stuff and unstuff of me. 2 brass vases, albums long played, propped up by my mind, memories dripping all over. Upon this painted rock I build, and give it all away at will. The empty hand can hold the most, the open body awaiting its host. So that draft, again, written in relation to Rashid Johnson's I Who Have Nothing, which is in the 30 Americans exhibit. And I was thinking about a few things. There have been some articles written in the past 5 years about philanthropic endeavors and how often, when you look per capita or look based on percentages, people who are middle to lower income actually donate more money and are more freely giving with their money. So I was thinking about that partially in the idea of, I who have nothing, and this shelf or this kind of installation looking like a place of kind of giving spiritually in a way. So I was thinking about that. I was also thinking about being open to receive and clutter or an uncluttered life, and how one of my personal fears is being a hoarder. And I definitely see myself as a collector. Even when I was a little kid, I collected stickers. I collected these little things called weeples. I don't know if they even still have them. They're these little furry things. We got them from school after every report card. You got a certain number for every A, every B, that type of thing. I collected those things like crazy, like very consciously. I was choosing which ones I wanted because, this color and this feature. So I've kind of been a collecting type of person for quite a while, but I'm also very conscious of not wanting to have clutter and just too much stuff around me. I consciously collect based on ideas and memories and trying to tell a story through artifacts. At the same time, I need space to move around in my home. I need blank walls. I need, a place where I don't see a lot of stimulation so that I can kind of fill it with my own ideas. So I feel like I'm personally, moving often between or negotiating my compulsion to collect and my need to have open space. So this work brought a lot of that up for me. But another thing that's interesting about the exhibit that I was thinking about very consciously today, a lot of the individual works in the 30 Americans exhibit, in the way that they're displayed here at the Frist Center, the information card next to them gives a lot more information than I've seen in other exhibits. So, very common, of course, you see the artist's name. Most typically, you'll see the year and place in which they were born, the title of the piece, the media, of which it's composed, whether it's acrylic, oil, board, that type of thing. So all of that's quite standard. Sometimes you'll see the bio of the artist. A lot of the works in this exhibit also have a short paragraph or maybe a couple of paragraphs actually talking about the work itself or the series within, or the series of work that this piece is a part of. And that's a little different than some other exhibits I've been to. And it made me think about issues of accessibility and how much information people need or think they need to engage with a creative work. I wonder if there is something about this exhibit that seemed more challenging, and so some people felt like there needed to be more information next to each piece to kind of give people a hook to hold on to as they navigated the ideas. I don't know. When we talk about arts participation and creative spaces, the word accessibility is thrown out there quite often, and I wonder what that means to different people in different places. Can a place be more or less accessible because of the information, the ideas, the subject matter that's taking place? Is it more or less accessible because of the physical landscape of the space, whether that's, it's a small room and we're trying to get 50 people in? That's an accessibility kind of thing. I don't know. I think sometimes we assume that arts participation or the lack of participation is based off of a person's education level, economic level, where they live, all of these different factors. But I wonder how we actually make the decision about what is the barrier to accessibility or participation. Who are we talking to? I mean, if you ask a person who's never been to a gallery in their lives, who's never been to a poetry reading or a theatrical performance, when you ask them why, maybe the reasons aren't what we initially expect. Maybe it's not about, I don't have a way to get there, or I can't afford the ticket price. Maybe it's something about the comfort level. I mean, I don't know. I don't presume to know all of the answers here. But I think it's important for us not to just automatically assume it's that people won't understand. And maybe let me do a reversal here in the way I'm talking. Maybe the longer explanations for each work aren't necessarily for people who have never been to a gallery. Maybe it's actually for the people who have quite often been to galleries and museums, and the explanations next to each work are because they're seeing something with which maybe they're not often familiar or comfortable. So there are a lot of things here, but part of why I'm even thinking about accessibility is because today, for the first time in my writing process, my mother came along with me to see the 30 Americans show, and my mother has a slight visual impairment. So she was noticing things as she was walking through that I don't really pay much attention to. She was saying, sometimes the floor, the dark color of the floor made it more difficult for her to see if there was a rise or a fall in the incline or that type of thing. Some of the doors that were made of glass, visually were challenging for her to find the handle or the opening space. So she's thinking of accessibility in ways that I hadn't been paying attention to as I walked through the exhibit. So I think it's just helpful when we are able to be empathetic and put ourselves in other people's places and thinking about how they view a space, how they view art, and what are the tools that can help make places more open without oversimplifying them. I guess that's what I'm thinking. All right. I don't know. I enjoyed this draft, though. I know this is going back to the beginning, but the altar was interesting to me because I had seen this work, numerous times as I've been walking every day into the exhibition. I'm kind of taking note of different works and knowing that eventually I'll probably write about it, but not knowing when. I've given myself permission to select each piece the day that I walk in the exhibit and not in advance. So whatever kind of pulls my attention and my energy that day, I'll just stand in front of that work or sit, ponder, and write about it. But I don't have a schedule of when I'm writing on which piece. And this was actually one that I've walked by several times, and I wasn't sure what to make of it. Didn't really know, a theme or topic. No specific theme or topic was just popping into my mind. But suddenly today, I saw it in a different light. So it was nice for me, even being somewhat familiar after a week of going every day, to see this in a different light. And I was, I guess, proud of myself in noticing something new and being open to noticing something new that I could, easily and openly say to myself, You hadn't been paying close attention, had you, Stephanie? And that's okay because I paid close attention today. All right, I will see you all tomorrow. You see the number 3, look out for number 4, and have a fantastic day.